Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Welcome back if you're like an oldie but a goodie, and welcome if it's your first time. It's been, I don't know, like a lifetime since I've filmed on here. It's been a few lifetimes, it feels like, with everything that's been going on, but I just feel like it's time and I just want to get back into it. So there's probably going to be a whole lot of noise and a whole lot of interruptions because such is my life. And we're just going to jump right in and get into it, okay? Um this is a hard video to do, I'm not going to lie. I mean, on the one hand, it feels liberating to kind of tell your story and to move on and to go with it. I definitely want to do this because of documenting my story. I want to do it to give me motivation and inspiration to kind of keep my life going and get this thing on the road. I know that looking back on it, to see where I draw strength and how I overcome things and how I make it and how far I've come, in the future, I'll look back and think that way. And so that's definitely part of the reason why I want to do this. But I also want to do it because I know that there are other women going through the same kind of thing as me. I see it all the time, and you're seeing it more and more. But I also see it as people are quiet because they don't know how to talk about it and they feel like they're all alone. And I want to help those people. I want to help those mamas. It's not easy. It's hard, and some may feel it's impossible, but I want to give people encouragement and inspiration if they're in the same situation that I was in, that you can get out and you can do this. And I feel like a lot of times women stay because they feel like they cannot do it on their own, that it's impossible. And I'm living proof that it is not, in fact, impossible. Okay, so we're just going to get going. I'm sure you're going to have tons of questions. I hope that you are. If you're new or if you have been following me for any length of time, I have a lot of friends that I've met on here. I haven't talked to you or interacted with you in a while just because I haven't filmed in so long. But if you have questions or anything, feel free to message me or comment down below. I definitely want you to do that. That's kind of the whole purpose of what we're here for, right? Okay. If you are someone who's been with me for a long time, you know that I've been married for 14 years almost. November would have been 14 years. And I've known my husband since he was 10 and I was 13. Um, our marriage was not in any way easy at any point in those 14 years. There was a lot of infidelity, um, uh, a lot of infidelity, a lot of things that I forgave, and um, we separated and got back together a few different times. We have 5 children together. We have a 12, a 9, a 6, a 4, and a 1.5. And over that period of time, I just kind of learned how to forgive and forgive and forgive and forgive. And I felt like I was doing the right thing by fighting for my marriage. I was being strong. I was being, never give up. I was, determined. I was having all of these qualities that made me, a good wife, a good woman, a good, godly, woman who just was determined to never give up. Um, Now looking back, I understand that everyone in my life was like, "Holy crap, girl, you need to see the light." But people tried to be supportive, I guess, as best as they could, and without getting into too much detail, because obviously I can't and don't really want to get into too much detail for a lot of obvious reasons. But I will say that it was not easy for me. None of those years were easy. I feel like things would start to get better only to get much, much worse. And it was a continual, perpetual pattern of that over and over and over. Now, looking back on that, I understand why. Like, I understand that I wasn't seeing the big picture, right? Like I was just looking at each incident as it came, and dealing with each incident as it was presented to me, and getting through that hurdle and the next hurdle and the next hurdle. And I wasn't like stepping back and being like, okay, girl, we need to look at this big picture. What is this? Why do we keep going around the merry-go-round? Why are we going on this roller coaster of ups and downs? And it's a constant cycle. But when you're in that, it's really, really, really hard to look at it that way, right? It's so hard to look at it like you're in a never-ending cycle. You just push yourself, okay, well, we'll get through this. We'll get through this. And then it's the next thing and the next thing. And you, before you know it, it's 14 years of the next thing, and it's really awful, okay? Um so yeah. Um Now looking at it, I understand 100% that I was involved in a narcissistic, abusive relationship. I do understand that. It's hard for me to accept. It was really hard for me to accept, because it's like you want to an explanation for what happened, so you feel relieved that there's an explanation and you're not crazy after all, and you didn't imagine things, that this is an actual thing. But on the other hand, you don't want to accept it, because you're like, there's no way I was duped this way. You know what I'm saying? There's no way that I was, you know, a victim in any way. There's no way that I could have been fooled like this, and you don't really want to accept that. But that is just the truth of the matter. It just is what it is. And so here we are. Um, so I'm starting all over. I'm starting all over. So many people have asked me, and I'm sure that this question will come up eventually, but when was the moment that you knew enough was enough? Like, this is a long time, right? This is a lot of separating and getting back together, and separating and getting back together, and you give chance after chance after chance. When did you know that enough was enough, and you finally had enough, and you made up your mind, like, I can't do this anymore? Um, Things within the past, few years got worse because of alcoholism. So it wasn't just the infidelity, and it wasn't just all the things um, in that regard. It was also alcohol abuse. And that continuously got worse as the time went on. That's been about the last 5 years. And it's gotten perpetually, like, it's gotten worse and worse. Like, you know, over, the past year, the past few months, whatever. It's just continued to get worse. And, it just got to the point where there was no hope, right? Like, everything I was trying was not working. I could tell that there was no real desire to change. There was no progress or work on that end, and I was putting in all the effort, all the work, all the begging, all the pleading, all the ideas, all the thing, and nothing was being reciprocated. And that's never going to work, right? Like, when someone has an issue and a problem, but you're putting all the effort and pouring into that person, unless they choose to fix the problem, it's not going to be fixed, because the problem is with them and not with you. Like, you can't fix their problem. And that's just kind of how it was. I was trying to fix the problem. I'm a fixer. It is what it is. And I'm going to dive super deep into all of this, piece by piece, and we're going to talk about it, because I really have found and gleaned help from people who have went through similar experiences, and deep dove into it. And I want to do that as well with my experience, because it truly, like, that, those videos, the comments, those things, those TikToks, those whatever, have been a lifesaver to me, kind of a beacon of light and hope in my life. And I want to be that for someone else, right? Like, I'm a giver. It's what I do. I want to give hope when there's none. I want to give help when you have nobody. I want to be that beacon of light for somebody, like somebody else was for me. And with that being said, I just noticed that things were not getting better. They were getting worse and worse and worse, and each time was worse. Each mess up was worse. Each lash out was worse. It started to become physical, not with the boys, but with me. And it started to increase on the severity of how physical it was. It was tiny little things at first, then it started getting a little worse, a little worse. And eventually a police report was filed, and the police had to be called by a neighbor who witnessed some things that happened. And it happened in front of our 4-year-old, and that was that was the end. That was enough. That was over. It was over at that point. Like, that was enough. Enough is enough. Like, I'm sorry, but that's it, right? And so at some point you have to come to the end of yourself and say, this is too much. This is enough. You have to come to that realization of, okay, I'm not crazy. This is real. This is happening. This is severe. The severity is far too great. The risk is not worth it. We got to make some changes. And that's what I did. So I am a 37, soon to be 38-year-old in November, mama of 5, who is completely starting over 100%. Over the past few months, almost a year now, I've been slowly getting jobs. I still stay at home with my kids. I still homeschool them, all of the things. I don't plan on changing that. I'm hoping with everything in me that I don't have to change that. However, you never know. It's 2025. Things are expensive. Things are crazy. And I don't know what's in store for our future. But as for the near future, right now, in this moment, I'm still homeschooling them, still staying home with them. But I have multiple jobs that I don't have to leave for long periods of time, or I can take them with me, or I can just get someone to watch them while I do the jobs, things like that. I do have 2 kiddos for 2 separate mamas that I do watch. I'm starting to watch one of them as soon as we get our apartment, which I'll talk about that in a minute. And then I already have watched one of them since all the way back in October. So that is an income. I also clean 2 buildings for the church that we attend, and I also clean a home for a single mom as well. So those are what I do right now. I'm really excited about this, and I'm trying to hold on to that excitement. I don't want it to be in my vocabulary to not get my hopes up. I want my hopes up to the moon, and I want to go for that as hard as I possibly can, right? Because that's been something in my life that I haven't had in a long time, is dreams and hopes, and I want to go after those. So I've been doing some side jobs. I'm almost about to do my 3rd one, for event planning and event decorating, event coordinating, all of that. I did a 50th birthday, I did a wedding, and then I will be doing a graduation party. And so I'm trying to gain traction on that and make it an actual business. That is what I would love to create as my full-time gig, right? It is so much work. It is so much effort, but it is so rewarding, and I loved it. I did the biggest event I've ever done, um, 2 weeks ago. Yes, 2 weeks ago, 1 week ago. I don't know. It's crazy. Like, I think it was a week ago. It'll be 2 weeks this weekend. So it was a week and a half ago, and it was so much work, so many things. I planned out, decorated, coordinated. Every single detail was done by me, except the reception, because the venue did take care of partial amounts. But I did the rehearsal dinner, I did the ceremony, I did the reception, I decorated the reception. And all the rest, I decorated the get ready rooms and all the things. It was so rewarding. It was so much fun. It made me feel like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to be doing, right? Like, I wasn't intimidated. I was not shy about it. I walked in there. It was by far the biggest thing I'd ever done. The reception was at a country club. Like, I should have been so intimidated, but I walked in there with so much confidence. Like, this is what I was made to do. I know exactly what to do. Like, bomb, 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 bomb. Here we go. We're doing this. And I loved it. It was so much fun. So I have been doing that as well, just to get, savings, because I'm having to get us into apartments and pay deposits and do all this stuff with the power and get everything in my name that's never been in my name. And it's a lot of money has been put into this, and I have done it by myself every single time. And so I'm not receiving help right this moment. I'm hoping that will change eventually, but as of right now, I'm not receiving anything. It's me by myself. Me and the kiddos are staying currently. This is my parents' home. We are staying with them. It is tight quarters around here. They live in a 2-bedroom, 2-bath townhouse. It is tiny and tight quarters. With my 5 children, me and my parents, and they are being so gracious and so kind and so loving. They're loving all over us, and I really appreciate that because I know it's tight for them and it's not the life that they're used to living, and that can be difficult, but they're handling it with so much grace and giving so much grace, and I'm so thankful for that. I truly am. I'm waiting for our apartment to open up. It is not available. The apartment complex is so much worth it because of the pricing and the area. It's just, you can't find anything. It is literally a once in a lifetime, gem to be found. And the state of the apartments and how well they're kept, how nice they are, the location of them, it's in a good area and the price is right, and that's just, you can't find that. So I've been waiting on it. We've been living here now for about a month and a half, almost 2 months, and we will probably live here for another 3 to 4 weeks while the apartment is getting ready for us. That's so frustrating, and it's horrible feeling like you're in limbo. You're encroaching on someone else's things, and our stuff is in storage units. I had to get 2 freaking storage units to fit all of our crap. I sold all of our furniture because it was too oversized, and I got new furniture that is smaller, and we're just waiting. We are just waiting. But part of me wanted to start this all over and start this journey with you guys and start filming videos again and start telling my story when we were settled and in an apartment. But that's always me, right? Like, I'm waiting. I'm just waiting. I feel the need to do something, and then I'm waiting till this happens or till this happens. But when that happens, I'm like, well, let's wait till this happens. And then I never do it. And I'm not going to be that person anymore. And so I just want to go for it, right? Like, here I am. I'm going for it. So that's where we're at. I'm a single mama of 5 boys, almost 38 years old, and I'm starting over from scratch, and I can do this. And if you are in a situation where you feel like you need to leave and you're going through abuse or you're going through horrible situation, you feel trapped, you feel like a prisoner, you feel alone, you're not. There are so many women who are going through or have gone through the same thing, and some of them are just not bold enough or brave enough, or they don't think their story is worthy to be told, but it is. And you are worthy, and you can do this. So I almost got done without any interruption, but if that is you, this is the channel for you. If you're just curious and nosy and you want to know what's going on, or if you want to be here for some support and some moral help to back me up, girlfriend, then definitely subscribe. Definitely follow our journey, because it's not easy, it's difficult, but good things are not easy, right? Good things are usually never easy. They're hard. They're birthed out of heartbreak. They're birthed out of brokenness. They're birthed out of struggle, but they are great in the end. And I have full confidence that that's going to be our life, and that I'm going to look back and say, it was hard and we struggled, and I worked my tushy off and I sacrificed everything, but I would do it all again. My kiddos are worth it, and I'm starting to see that I'm worth it too, and I want you to see your worth. So definitely follow us along. It's gonna be a bumpy ride, right? Like, it's gonna be a bumpy ride. I'm gonna take you along as we are living here waiting on our apartment. I'm going to take you along on our daily routine. That's not really a routine, because who can have a routine when you're living out of suitcases? I'm going to take you along as we get the new apartment, setting it all up. I'm very excited about that. I have so many things in mind that are crazy and wild and different than anything I've ever done, and I'm so happy and excited for that. I'm going to take you along with that, and just take you along with sharing my heart and sharing what's going on and sharing how I'm feeling and how I'm getting through this, so that you can take my experience and it can help you. or maybe help someone you know, or maybe you just want to be there for me and my kids, and I will appreciate any of those things. So definitely subscribe. Definitely leave me your comments down below because I want to interact with you guys. It's really my biggest motivation for doing this. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.